Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
For so many, getting a COVID vaccine is a matter of life and death. We continue to track the lack of vaccines. And more on Meyer now jumping in.
Also, a major change in Washtenaw County that has a lot of people talking, why the prosecutor there says he will not be charging sex workers.
But we begin with charges for the people in power during the Flint water crisis. 9 people charged, including former Governor Rick Snyder, accused of neglect of duty.
When an entire city is victimized by the negligence and indifference of those in power, it deserves an uncompromising investigation.
Prosecutors, in fact, say it's the largest criminal investigation in the history of Michigan.
And now Michigan's former Governor Rick Snyder, the first governor in state history to face charges related to time in office. Snyder pleaded not guilty today to 2 misdemeanor counts of willful neglect of duty, but 8 other former city and state officials are charged as well, including former health department officials Nick Lyon and Eden Wells. They're charged with involuntary manslaughter. It's been more than 6 years since the city's water source was switched, leading to lead contamination in the drinking water. Investigators say the people of Flint are still feeling the effects.
The Flint water crisis is not some relic of the past. At this very moment, the people of Flint continue to suffer from the categorical failure of public officials at all levels of government, who trampled upon their trust and evaded accountability for far too long.
Investigators did not give us a lot of specifics about the investigation today, but they did say they reviewed hundreds of documents, looked at several hundred electronic devices, and carried out dozens of search warrants.
In fact, this is a day the people of Flint have been waiting for.
That's so true. Few images connected to the crisis captured people's hearts more than this photo. 2-year-old boy suffering skin problems because of the tainted water. Today, Sincere Smith is 8 years old, and his mother spoke about the court action and how this disaster continues to impact the life of her family. Hank Winchester has kept in touch with that family for years now. Hank.
Devin, good evening to you. You know, Sincere Smith, his face on the cover of Time magazine made headlines around the world. That was 6 years ago. The little boy is still struggling, still suffering because of the water problems here. But his family members say they are thankful that justice is being served. Sincere Smith was just 2 years old when he appeared on the cover of Time magazine, the young face of the water crisis. Today, he's 8. And he still has skin problems and other issues. They're a constant reminder of the damage that was done.
He has been through so much for a child that most of us adults would have been folded on. And this little boy is like, you know, the true definition of like what we call a hero.
Sincere's mother has recently had to explain the water crisis to her son. He's been hearing on the news that Governor Snyder would be charged, and he wanted to know why. He wanted to know more about what happened.
I had to explain to him today before he starts seeing the news and start seeing his picture on the news again, like, you know, well, Governor Snyder is being held accountable, you know, they're going to charge him. And he's like, well, you know, who is that? And I was like, that's the man who had everything going on in Flint, who okayed the water to get switched for us. And he was like, is he going to jail? And I'm like, I hope so.
This family was hopeful that the charges against the governor would have been more severe, but they're also thankful that legal action is being taken.
I don't want to see him get a slap on the wrist. You know, he was the okayer to what happened here.
This family and so many in Flint just want justice for the people in this community.
It's definitely, you know, some light at the end of the tunnel. It definitely gave us a little bit of hope, and it gave us a little bit of, you know, that we haven't been forgotten.
The good news for Sincere and his family is he is doing much better. He's been able to take advantage of a lot of the community resources and programs to help him as he works to recover from issues regarding the Flint water crisis. We're live here tonight, downtown Flint. Hank Winchester, back to you.
Hank, we heard the prosecutor say that we can't look at this as a relic of history. This work still goes on to replace the pipes. How's that going today?
And Devin, it does continue, but the pandemic really set it back quite a bit. I mean, at this point, about 70% of the residents have their pipes replaced. But remember, as you well know, the majority of people that still live here in Flint do not trust the water, and many say they never will.
Even those who've had the pipes fixed. Exactly right. All right, Hank, we're going to be following these cases, of course, through the courts. We have complete coverage right now at clickondetroit.com, including a breakdown of all of the charges and a look back at how we got here. Right now, it's on the homepage of Click on Detroit. Now, the new Washtenaw County prosecutor has been making some big changes, and today he announced a policy shift that is getting a lot of attention.
A lot of attention. The county will no longer press for criminal charges for sex workers, as Victor Williams reports that he thinks this will encourage sex workers to report crimes against them without feeling like they may also get in trouble.
Big changes continue to happen here in Washtenaw County. First, the county prosecutor told us how he was not going to go after those who use marijuana and entheogenic plants. Now he's telling us he's not going to go after those who consensually work in the sex industry.
We are focused on crime that really harms the community.
That's exactly why County Prosecutor Ellie Savitt is no longer filing charges against consensual sex workers for doing their jobs.
We are saying we are not charging the mere exchange of sex for money consensually.
The prosecutor will still aggressively work cases against human traffickers and those who may be holding young women against their will, just not the women who may be walking the streets because they have no other options. Sandra Remican, who works closely with these women at the organization Alternative for Girls, believes it's a step in the right direction.
As an agency, we say we think it's a good thing, because what we're finding is that as we're working with these survivors of sex work and they're coming into us to get services, these criminal records follow them.
As long as it's for certain the work is indeed being done consensually.
I have no tolerance for human traffickers. They will be a priority in our prosecutor's office. We will go after them. This policy is geared towards ensuring that we do not see a rise in human trafficking and that we are aware when it is going on.
And Savitt says that he is not done just yet. He's going to be making some more changes that you guys will more than likely be hearing about in the upcoming weeks. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Now to the latest on the coronavirus here in Michigan, starting with the new numbers from the state.
Michigan right now reporting nearly 2,700 new cases over the past day, with 139 more deaths, 107 of those coming from a review of vital records. Today, the city of Detroit expanded access to vaccinations at the TCF Center. Now anyone ages 70 and older can schedule an appointment. It was 65 years of age and up. Now it's moved to 70. Post office employees, though, are also eligible for vaccines. Now, a lot of communities can't expand access to the vaccine right now because there simply isn't enough of it to go around. Tonight, the Local 4 defenders are digging into what was promised to local health departments and hospitals and what's really available. Here's Sean Lay.
We're hearing a lot of second guessing of Governor Whitmer tonight for moving the state into the next phase of COVID vaccinations without the supply to meet this big demand.
Well, my wife and I are both very anxious to get vaccinated because we're tired of being hunkered down in the house for 10 months now.
Former Wayne County Commissioner Gary Warren checking his wife like so many of you. They're trying to schedule a COVID vaccine appointment. On Wayne County's appointment request website, he clicked on eligibility and up popped, oh no, we can't find that page.
It is frustrating and it's disappointing, but I'm sure that there are people who are taking note of that and working to make it better.
The Local 4 defenders looking for where the vaccines are for you. Michigan Medicine has put a temporary hold on scheduling vaccine appointments. They ordered 24,000 doses. They got 4,000. Henry Ford Health System prioritizing vaccinations for Henry Ford high-risk patients 65 and up. Eligible patients will receive a text or voicemail. Oakland County receiving 1,900 vaccines per week. Beaumont randomized invitations 65 and older. Macomb County 4,200 107 appointments have been scheduled. Their current allotment has been exhausted. Meyer now jumping in. Text COVID to 75049 to get in line. But Meyer is starting with 1,950 doses from the state.
In our conversations with the state, we told them how many more can we get, and they said, get them in the arms and we'll keep them coming.
Next week, Meyer will start those vaccinations at 4 stores in Wayne County. They're not revealing which ones. They don't want people to think it is a walk-in clinic. You must register. Also, the state, they ordered 300,000 doses per week of COVID-19 vaccine. It's only getting so far 60,000 doses. Sean Lay, Local 4.
Michigan House Democrats want to remove a Republican colleague from office for attending rallies in Washington, D.C. before the Capitol siege. State Representative Matt Maddock of Milford and his wife are supporters of President Trump, who have tried to overturn President-elect Biden's victory in Michigan. As Rod Maloney reports, this plan may not get far in the state legislature.
I have been told by people close to Meshawn Maddock, who is looking to be the next co-chair of the Michigan Republican Party, and State Representative Matt Maddock, have spent the day behind closed doors. Considerable pressure, obviously, growing on them. They're considering how to respond to all of this. I did ask for an interview and was turned down. But they do know that there are storm clouds gathering over their political careers. They swore in the Michigan House yesterday, among them Representative Matt Maddock of Midland, but his second term is likely to bring with it much more controversy than the first. The Democratic Minority Leader, Donna Lisinski, saying Maddock's work backing President Trump, looking to change the outcome of the election, and his presence at one of the rallies in Washington, D.C., supporting the president last week, he and other Republicans who worked with him need to leave the Capitol one way or another.
And to have elected lawmakers continuing to propagate false conspiracy theories about what happened in our election and what we are facing has driven us directly towards this outcome, and they must be held accountable, which is why I've asked for the 18 members to not be seated and for Representative Maddock to be censured and possibly removed from office.
Yet, as of now, that is not in the cards. In a statement put out by the House Speaker's office today, Jason Wentworth, quote, "The resolutions are unfortunate, reflecting pure partisanship. The Speaker still has seen no evidence that Representative Maddock did anything that rises to the level of reprimand or punishment. He attended a peaceful rally and did not participate in the detestable riots at the Capitol," end quote. Yesterday, the Speaker denounced the Washington violence in the strongest possible terms. So as it stands right now, Representative Maddock will remain in his seat, but he does know, and other representatives have said, that they are going to be unrelenting in their pressure on him to leave. In Lansing, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Okay, Rod, we've got much more to come here at 6.
Ben is tracking some changes on the way. Ben?
Hello, Sandra and Devin. One more date till the weekend, and it's going to look and feel a whole lot different. We've got snow, we've got cold. We'll check out how much and whether that woman ever makes it down the slope. Coming up.
It's a fraud case that involves 2 men and multiple police departments. I'm Larry Sproul, and I'll tell you how all of this unfolded.